Guys, hear ye, hear ye. So this is our long title holiday special with good stuff from our 100 plus episodes. We didn't want to say best of because there's just too many. There's too many good things and it sounds weird. These are just good parts, stuff that made us laugh. Anywhere you point, someone made us laugh very hard on each episode. We've got peppered in Fallon, Julie Bowen busting my balls, of course. She did the whole show. Chevy Chase, which was one of our nuttier ones, and he was hilarious. Sherry O'Terry, who's nuts, funny, great. Sudeikis, Chris Rock. There's so many, we lost track. So you'll hear clips of these people, and I think you're going to like it, and it'll be good to sort of shut you guys up, over Christmas, and then we come back, and we hit it hard when we get back. So speaking of hitting it hard, I'm going to go whack off. Anyway, folks, Merry Christmas, and here we go.
So how do you two know each other? I get a sense you have you're friends, right? You know each other.
I know her.
I'm just
from,
guessing.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yes. Why don't you tell him, David? Why don't you tell your friend Dana how you know me?
Yeah, what is going on here? I mean, I'm a fly on the wall right now.
I met Julie, I think, at a Golden Globes party. Is that possible?
Golden Globes party, HBO, Golden Globes party. You were with Steve Levitan.
Oh, I was?
Steve Levitan.
You were there you'd been nominated for Just Shoot Me.
Second time, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
We're not keeping track.
Now he's like, I don't know, when was it? Second time. So you sure it wasn't the first time, David?
No, you know what? I mix it up. It's all jumbled. It's
all
like
jumbled. It was one of
Did
those
you
awards.
win an Emmy? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Whoops.
I don't think it's about
Whoops,
that. I
sorry,
think it's
it doesn't make you a better person.
Did you wait, David, did you win an Emmy for Just Shoot Me?
Honest.
I did not.
Okay.
It doesn't make you inferior. Others of
Julie,
us
we'll get
win
to your
Emmys. It doesn't matter.
Award. Well, I was back when those Emmys really meant something.
I would have given you an Emmy.
Back when they meant something. Yeah, now they just hand them out like candy.
I think you got handed to.
I think you got robbed.
2011, was that the pandemic? And 2000.
Yeah, I got one of those
That was the
pandemic
COVID
Emmys.
ones,
I
yeah.
got a COVID Emmy.
How
They
many
just,
nominations for Modern Family? Just say it.
I don't know. For
6, something like that.
was it
5 or 6?
for me or the show?
6 nominations. You know what, Julie? Honestly, I thought you hosted SNL twice, and
I've never
two
fucking.
Emmys.
No, I won
Have you
2
heard of the
Emmys and
show?
I've never hosted SNL. No, I would never host SNL. You kidding me? That is terrifying. I watch it now. Also, I'm kind of into like right now how you guys watch SNL every week, right?
Nope.
Or no?
I see it on Instagram. They
I
have
don't
clips
stay
of
up
each
that
sketch.
late. We'll see clips. I'll go. On Sunday, you can go on.
Yeah.
You can go
and
on-
watch
on-
all the sketches.
Right.
Yeah.
And watch all of it. But
I
the
watch all of
guests
it.
this year in particular are like, it's like complete, it's all new. Like there's none of the classics. There's no
you
Tom
don't-
Hanks.
It's the guest
The hosts.
Yeah.
all the hosts. And so when I watch it now, I'm like, oh, I could maybe do it now because it's just like they're much nicer and warmer, it seems like. And it feels like I don't know. It feels like you used to have to come on and kill in the in your opening monologue.
That's an interesting observation. So now the hosts don't have to be.
No, they're really funny, but it's much more gentle
know
and
what you
kind
mean.
about it.
Right.
They're like, I'm so honored to be here. This is so exciting.
It's
it seems like
emotional
there's
and almost serious. Yeah, a little political statement. Yeah.
And a little bit of like, this is, what SNL meant to them growing up and how much it means to them to be there now.
Yeah.
Like even, Liev Schreiber did a whole like, this is such a big deal to me. And I was like, huh?
And Martin Short is on top of a piano.
Exactly.
He's crushing so hard.
Right. And so
The
it's not
greatest.
as hard on the jokes as it was back when it would have.
Did they
maybe
reach
been-
out to you
I would imagine
during
they
your
would've.
10 years or 11 years?
There was a
some grumblings?
soft. There was some
Because you weren't on
soft.
Soft
NBC.
ask?
They're pretty loyal. You were not on NBC, right? You're ABC or no?
I was on NBC when David tracked me down.
I don't
And
know if
that was
that's
that
the
other show.
terminology.
That was Ed. I did a show called Ed.
Oh,
And
that is the terminology, yes.
Yeah, tracked. I was doing Ed when you were doing.
So he stalked you.
He stalked me.
Well,
we were
those
at
are
this. I was
strong
with Willie
accusations.
Gerson.
Oh, Willie
R.I.P.
Garson, yes, that's what
Okay.
He was on. He invited me as he's like. I've had this said to me more than once. You look like somebody who's got a nice dress hanging in the closet. it's like the day before some award show. Clearly everyone else has dropped out. Could you possibly chuck on your dress and show up?
That wasn't me. That was Willie.
No, that was Willie.
Okay, yeah.
So I went with Willie, and you were there with Steve Levitan, and you walked by me and then walked right back again and go, hey, do I know you? I know you.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
And I said, no.
I think I said, do we have the same barber?
Spade has
had a
the
short
best
haircut.
patter with women. I
No.
mean, just even the flight attendant or whoever. You do. You have a good. They like the
Because funny matters. My family,
Funny
when
matters.
I started dating David, my
Yes,
family was
okay,
like,
here we go.
oh, dear God. They're like,
Okay.
what? And I said, funny counts.
I don't need to hear behind
Funny
the scenes.
counts. That's the name of your next book.
Funny counts. They go, does it count that much?
Funny count.
Funny
it counts
counts.
a lot because you, like Lauren Michaels said once, you can't marry a face. Because eventually
That's right.
you don't even see the face.
So you
have to marry a personality. What's better than someone that makes you laugh all day long?
right.
David.
So David tried to track me down through, but this is where he shot the
What
bed.
channels
Are we
did he
allowed to
use?
swear on your show?
Sure.
What the fuck?
I don't think we can say track me down again, but we can swear.
How did he? What kind of tracking device did
I
he
don't
use?
know
Was
what
it a private
happened.
detective?
He
or?
no, a publicist,
Okay.
which was such a fucking C
I
minus.
want to be tracked
Well,
down, though.
listen,
Isn't it flattering to
we
be tracked
don't
down a
have-
little bit?
Not by a publicist.
Well, Julie,
we
there's
had
no
enough-
other way. By telegram?
When
I
you
mean,
figured out that, because at first I told you I was a dog walker,
okay.
because you were like, I know you. I go, no. Because I was like, if he doesn't know me, what am I going to give you my resume? No.
Right.
You had no idea who I was. You
You
just
did the right thing.
thought I was cute. I said I was a dog walker.
Mhm.
You're like, and then I ran into you at another party somewhere, and then the next thing I knew, you did track me down through. You figured out I had been in Happy Gilmore with Sandler,
Okay.
Babatu.
but
Anytime he's mentioned, I try to do that.
and
She did the best.
but you
one.
didn't.
She
You
did a
didn't
good
bother
one.
to go through Adam. You didn't go through anybody personal.
I didn't think I want Adam knowing my personal business.
So what? This
Oh,
is
okay.
a Conan Johnson PR firm, and we're looking for
Right?
Miss
No,
Julie
it was
Bowen.
literally this woman. I don't remember her name, but she tracked me down. I had a couple calls from her. David would like to talk to you. David and I was like, fuck that. It's
They would like to see in his office.
You literally were fuck that.
well, I
I was
got
like, fuck that.
a publicist.
You were on Ed, right?
I was on Ed.
It was not a lascivious fuck that. It was
No,
like,
it was not like I'm gonna fuck that. No, it was a
No, it was not that for sure.
It was not that. It was not that. And then
but that you did that perfectly. It
I
funny.
was living in New York in this building. I remember I was in the gym really early watching TVs with no volume, and I see that you had been tased by
Oh, boy.
Skippy.
Well, okay, that's
So-
a story
Sort
we
of
have not
jumping around
explored.
here.
On
You
this
haven't
podcast.
explored this.
On this podcast. It's been mentioned though.
Oh, we haven't
David
talked
was
about it.
tased by Skippy.
I know the whole story.
Tased and beaten.
Well,
Tase was the beginning to disarm me. Disarm
the
the
tasing
musculature.
It was
was
a
what
night
got
of terror.
my attention. Did I mention that the volume was not on the TVs? I was doing my best.
So what did you
So then I
decipher
was like,
from
where-
the silence?
Anyone who gets tased, I'm going to go to Arby's with.
Yeah, definitely. I was like, now where was that scrap of paper I wrote down for the publicist giving me his number?
That
So
asshole.
I called him and I was like, hey.
Yeah, that's when you called me about
That's when I
that?
called you. I go, hey, it's
You had
Julie,
your
I heard-
opener.
Are you all right? I just saw you got tased by Skippy. And you said, now will you go out with me?
No, I said no. I realized my dick's still working because I got all excited. I'm sorry. Can we take that
What
out?
was
in
it?
post?
Actually
was it
didn't
dick
say
working?
that.
Well, wait a minute. Was it you said
No,
dick
I
working?
just
You
said-
said,
I
now
said
will you go out
who?
with me?
Now will you go out with me? Sounds more like David.
Now will you go
No,
out with
I
me? I
just
had to get
said-
tased to get a
no.
date?
After I was laid up for a while in very pain, I started to come to my senses. I don't even remember these calls because it was
so much pain.
so much calls, so much pain. I didn't even know about Vicodin until right after this. So anyway,
You knew about Vicodin by
hate
the time
Vicodin.
we
You-
went
Oh,
on
we
a
did?
date. Yeah, you were little V chippies.
Yeah, okay,
yeah, I
maybe.
remember a lot of that.
Oh yeah, I had a puka shell made of Vicodin.
No, you didn't.
You just
That's the thing
hey,
is
you
that-
ate your necklace
that
today.
everybody needs to know about David is that he's the most like sensitive, delicate flower who has low blood sugar, has
Okay.
to carry around a little rat bag full of like turkey and
Oh, there's
chicken.
protein bars all
No.
over this mansion.
and they're
Every
and
corner.
like even
It's
though
like having a puppy.
he wants to go like party, but it's at like 6 p.m.
6:30.
in bed at 8:45.
God
But we're
damn.
kindred spirits. We like to eat at 3:30. We ask the restaurants to open.
mean, I love both of you guys so much. I can't even tell you. I want to go into your career and your stuff and everything you've done to influence me. I wanted to be Dana Carvey. I wanted to be. That's my whole reason for getting on Saturday Night Live, and that was my whole thing.
Oh, you said David Spade wrong.
I think that's age related because David.
I wanted to be Dana Carvey. I was sitting behind a reader with a knife.
Well, yeah, you were my surrogate. You were my stand-in. Sometimes I do the church chat rehearsals. David had to get the dress on and sit in there for camera blocking, which I thought was
just
horrible.
For a few minutes, can you sit in there? Dana's resting.
But Jimmy, you were 12 when I got on SNL, and that's what I call the peak formative year. It's like when I was listening to Monty Python or whatever gets in your brain at that age and through high school. So I appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
I can't even tell you how much I was such a SNL nerd. I would record it every Saturday night. I would be by myself. I wouldn't be, I didn't want friends over. I didn't want anyone around me. My parents, I didn't want anyone near me. I just wanted to study the show and watch it. And I'd videotape it. Then I remember like my favorite sketches. And then I would go to parties like, whatever, the next week or whatever. And I would bring videotapes with me with the best clips of SNL. Like I was like a human YouTube, just going, or watch this part or watch this thing. But I mean, I was like, I loved chopping broccoli. Then she went downtown.
But can I tell you,
some
she's a lady I know. If I didn't know her, she'd be the lady I didn't know.
I didn't know. Did you ever put that out? Like, is that out on Spotify or something?
No, the only thing I want to say, which was mind-blowing a few years back when I did your show, and then it wasn't my idea, but all of a sudden they go, Jimmy wants to do chopping broccoli with an orchestra. Remember that? God. It was fucking crazy. So that was the mic drop of chopping broccoli. There was a string orchestra, and then I was playing chopping broccoli on a baby grand. I had a terrible hair day because New York water just flattened it. But anyway, that's just my But I chopped broccoli, and I took it really far. She chopped.
I think
that's 20. That's a 20-minute bit in my stand-up, as you can imagine. But anyway, that's so you, Jimmy. We do have a kismet. There's a connection to this musicality of what we do and the way you do impressions and everything.
I brought a guitar. I mean, I'm in my office. So
will you play something for us? That'd be awesome.
You know, Dana, while Jimmy's futzing around, I have to say that if you're on SNL and you can play an instrument, Jimmy's like the perfect SNL guy. He plays an instrument. He's marginally good looking. He voted
sexiest, one of the top 50. He was voted
one of the tallest hosts of the year. And he's got a harmonica. This fucking guy.
Oh, I know he's going to do.
Just for the people at home.
I know he's going to do that supernatural. He's going to do one of three, either Dylan, Lennon, or Springsteen.
No,
which are all brilliant.
Dylan's one, but I thought maybe Neil Young too.
Oh, Neil Young. Yeah, just give me anything. This I'm being entertained now by my guess.
Neil Young would play the harmonica like he plays it differently than Dylan. Neil Young plays the harmonica like with the song, so he's like.
Oh, there we go.
There, something changed. Yeah, it's good now. Yeah.
Can you hear it now?
Now we hear it. Perfect.
Okay. All right. So like Neil Young plays the harmonica like with the tune
with
of the song.
with the notes. Yeah.
So it's like. David and Dana
sitting in a tree.
Dana and Dave, we're just a fly on the wall down the hall of SNL.
That's pretty good.
SNL. Dana and Dave. Did anyone ever call you Dave?
Some people do. You have to get in the real tight circles.
And then Dylan's faster. Dylan's like,
yeah, a lot of up and back.
Like he hits the highest note of the harmonica and just screams it. So like,
yeah.
Yeah.
This is the podcast about Dana and Dave. I saw the world. And a similar thing. Come on. Silent whoa.
He runs out of stuff. He hits the harmonica.
Yeah, exactly. When he runs out of lyrics.
Have you heard Rough and Ready, his latest album, Rough and Ready, Bob Dylan?
Yes.
God, it's brilliant.
Is it good?
Soon After Midnight is a masterpiece.
But he's got his new voice, which is
Well, that's what I mean. That this other voice, I haven't really tried to do it, but it's pretty special. It's really raw. It's soon after midnight, and I got a date with the fairy queen.
I love seeing him see him in concert because sometimes he doesn't feel like performing, and he's just out there and he's going like. And I'm like, oh man, this is weird. And then he's like, how does it feel? And you go, oh, I love this song.
Oh my God.
Do you mind if I lick
called
this?
Chevy Times.
Did you ever meet Farley in the old days?
Chris Farley?
Yes, sir.
I did, and Lauren had asked me to talk to him about the drug issue.
Chevy, if you could talk
Really?
to Chris, might help. Might not, but might.
I like your Lauren.
It's kind of quiet.
Will you do a little Lauren first?
Yes.
It's that thing of like if you could talk to Chris, about drugs, it might be like a really good thing. I love his
So I
rhythms.
did talk to him.
And how'd it go?
Well, he didn't have enough drugs for both of us, so no.
See, that's a classic. He's been landing all day for me. I mean,
They're hitting for me.
they're hitting. Once you get into his comic frequency, it's like it's just fun. Greg is laughing very hard. You wished you'd stayed longer at SNL. I kind of wish I did a couple more seasons. Do you
Christ, I feel like I'm here longer than SNL.
You never set up again. We can adjourn anytime.
Actually, I do. Thank you.
Yes.
Actually,
We're now
did.
man and wife.
Yeah, I do. That's funny too.
You did like 40 shows, huh?
Well, how tall are you? Thank you.
5'8" and a
Now
half
I-
on a good day.
So you.
Yeah, no, actually, the answer to your question, I forgot the fucking question.
You could have done movies during the summer and stayed on the show.
Oh, I would have loved to have stayed, and I really mean that. I mean, I left because of a girl. I had a picture of the girl, and I kept saying, I'm gonna marry this because look at she's beautiful, and Lauren kept saying, no, she isn't. and Doug Kenny from the National Lampoon became one of my best friends. Actually, became my best friend, and that's all I got.
I love
Did
it.
he write Animal House? Did he write Animal House?
Doug, yeah,
Doug Kenny.
he was one of the writers. I think that Harold stepped in there too.
Harold Ramis.
It was always what's his name who wrote these things, the book or the thing. John
Wasn't Landis? No.
Jonathan
John Hughes.
John Hughes.
Yeah.
But for instance, with what was the movie I did with Harold?
Vacation, honey.
Right, thank you.
Vacation. Yeah.
Tammy and Harold completely rewrote it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You have to rewrite him, Hughes.
Oh, I see. Because he was not comedic like you guys.
You're not Jewish.
Oh.
Well, if he gives you a blueprint of a great movie, you can fix it.
Chevy,
Adapt it.
during the podcast, puts his hands up like he's holding a loaf of bread and looks at
Show you
it.
how big everyone's
bread,
dick
that's
A
is.
loaf of bread. Show it. His,
How is
that's quite a loaf. I know. It's quite a loaf.
Honey.
Ed wants a slice.
Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
Aunt Blabby?
Do you do a Lauren impression?
Everybody
Almost
does.
everyone
Oh,
in
yeah.
this oral history of Saturday Night Live, even
Only because
Lauren
I've
has
never
an
met
impression of
anyone
himself.
like that. You know what I'm saying? And like,
No one has.
and I'd seen Austin Powers a million times before I actually got the job. So then I went there and I'm like, So wait, he's not admitting that this is that? Because this is totally that.
That sounds like a new sketch. This is that. This is totally that.
This is totally that. Yeah.
Well, did you have any Lorne-isms? We sometimes collect, things that he says to people. The initial one was never underestimate the value of water is a kind of a touchstone for a lot of people.
Yeah. And he also has a way of summing up large occurrences in the world. It's like, because Elvis was a twin, so it's that. It was like, what
that's
exactly?
A good one.
What does that
yes.
mean? Yeah.
Hitler was a painter.
Yeah.
Hitler was a painter, and so it's all that.
So it's that.
World War II. What?
I never know what that is. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what you mean. You're
who should take over for Lorne? Keenan, do you have any ideas? Who's good enough to handle that job?
Higgins, hands down. Higgins. You know what I mean?
I have him on a list here. Steve Higgins.
Yeah.
I mean, Higgins is a no-brainer. But Eric Kenward is out there, like Aaron Doyle, the people that have been there for a longer period of time. I think Colin, myself, I don't know, Che, we can all handle it. If we all wanted to stick
would you
around and keep it
entertain
going.
it if they approach you?
Oh, yeah. Why not? It'll keep me in New York. It'll keep me, in a stable environment, which is hard for an actor.
I'm just gonna write your name down for a second. I'm just keeping it.
Write it down. Put it in the universe. Thanks.
That's great. I think you. We don't have pens. I don't have it. I'm disorganized. Seth Meyers and Tina Fey
all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anybody that's especially been a person with a pencil in their back pocket for a week, fishing for jokes and knows the structure of the show. So Seth, Tina, any one of them, I think, that have had a good run at it and enjoy it, they can get it,
Well, you're interesting because you're 20 years. You know every in and out. You know what's going on. If you just perked your ears up to budgets and stuff, you could figure it out pretty quickly.
But there's also the other element where Lorne is such a rock star and he has so many pick up the phone favor kind of, moments that he can make happen
with
for the show.
With the network or the studio, just deals with them.
And keeps them away from us, keeps us protected. He's just an OG. So someone that can continue that kind of thing and make it a safe space for us, and then also make a phone call and get a legend in there at the last minute if it needs to be that.
Yes, there's a lot of off-label things that he's doing that go beyond executive producer. And I think he does always develop a fondness for his cast members. You can feel it, I mean, he's talked very nicely about you, almost in a paternal way with other cast members. He becomes the de facto dad that no one ever had or something, even though I'm 3 years older than him. He's still kind of my dad. No.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. But
that must be a crazy dynamic because he's the one we all kind of turn to, because if he's not happy, the shit's not getting on. You know what I'm saying? If he's not fucking with it, then that's the end all be all. So I've gone to him for a lot of different, nothing pertaining to the show kind of advice, because he just gives that air basically with if you have a question or, if you have a situation, we can help you with it. Nothing's too,
go ahead,
too terrible that we can't fix it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And when I was sort of, you call it wilderness years or raising a family, whatever you want to call it. But then I ran into Lorne. He's just he said, everyone knows who you are. It's just Lorne in a very supportive little, whenever you're ready, you just can do it some more. But yeah, he's brilliant at those kind of, just been there, seen it all. And then
he was like a stepdad to me because he used to ground me and hit me.
Okay. You want to talk?
That actually was Jim Downey.
About that hitting part?
No, a lot of people did.
Let's break some news. We got a trend. We got a trend, man.
Handful.
You were like the spoiled child. David's like a little boy, and you have to take care of him.
Dana, will you bounce him on your knee?
David need a spanky.
David, he need a little spanky, and he's in a timeout. Don't talk to him.
I'm not going to use any sort of object or spatula. I'm going to go full hand.
Yeah,
but it'll be just on the bottom.
Skin on skin.
That's good for Lorne. Skin on skin.
in the soap operas, they would come in and go straight to the bar. There was never a TV on in the soap operas, right?
Yeah.
And so I would make up a makeshift bar and have Kool-Aid in a vase that you could see through. That was my carafe. And then I would have ice and tongs to put. And then when my mother would walk in, I would stand the way the camera shots. You know how in soap operas,
Sort of open out.
the camera comes in and then the person is talking to them from the back of them.
Yeah. Like a rack
Right,
focus. Yeah, kind of.
Right. So my mother would come in and I go, "Oh, Mother, you startled me. I didn't hear you come in."
Mother, you
And she
startled
goes,
me.
Yeah. And she would go like this. "Who the fuck left the door open with the air conditioner on?" And I would go like this in my mind, "Cut."
God, so your survival mechanism was to almost live inside a soap opera with
So
actual.
funny.
I lived inside and no one knew what I was doing. It was really
Crazy
just
kid.
myself. And then I would watch like Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
I'd go upstairs, put my hair
calm
in
down.
plaits, in braids,
Oh,
and then get on my prairie pajamas. And I would come down and my mom would be in the kitchen. I go, "Ma, when's Pa coming?" And she goes, "What?" I go, "When's Pa coming home?" And she goes, "I don't know, but you better have fucking money." Cut!
So
It was like, 'cause my dad didn't live with us. So it was like, whatever, and in my mind, I was constantly, "Cut!"
Because it
So
wasn't
that was
going
your
the way you
survival.
wanted. It wasn't going like a TV
because
show.
You can't curse on TV.
Yeah.
And and then I remember I would watch like, the 10 Commandments was just on the other night.
Oh, the movie, the original,
Yeah, because it's Easter. Easter is coming.
Easter will be the
So they,
Yeah.
and I used to live for the 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
And I would be watching it and I'd go in the other room. My mom and her friend are smoking cigarettes and, talking. And I would get a ladle and I would fill it with water and give it to my mom and say, "Mom, can you hand this to me?" And she's like, "What do you want, Sharon?" I go, "Could just hand it to me." And then my mom's friend would say, "Honey, I'll hand it to you." And I go, No. And my mom would go, I'll hand it to you. Just give it to me. So she would take it and then she would hand it to me. And I would drink it down really fast. And I go, "You are kind. I will dwell in this land." And she goes, "Dwell in the other room."
Have you done a one-woman show about this relationship?
It's
'Cause
too
this is
un- It's so good.
And then my friend, I would say to my mom's friend, "You are strong. You stood up to the Malachite."
And so you were
Do you
kind of
remember
like,
that from?
well, I just know the cadence. I actually read the Bible after I saw it when I was like 8 or something. I started reading the Bible after I saw
Are you
that.
serious?
Oh yeah, I was just like, maybe this is true, man. This looks pretty real. I was like, I was like 7. It was like a documentary to me.
Oh, I'm going to get to the bottom of this religions thing and I'm going to open the book.
He's like,
Yeah,
"Is
I
the
did. I
Bible a
started to
real
read,
thing?"
yeah.
And then he goes, "Oh, there is one at the library. Let me delve into this a little bit."
Dana, that's adorable.
And years later, just a flash, which I want to ask you
Cute.
too. I'm with Charlton Heston on SNL, and Lawrence wants to get him to do Church Chat, Church Lady with Moses, and he didn't want to do it. We're kind of pressure. I didn't want to pressure him, but he goes, "Just isn't."
Oh my God, that would have
me."
been
So
awesome.
it's so surreal, those kind of things. But back to this, I just want to couch this for a second. So your mother's, you probably love her. She's very aggressive. There's a lot of tension in the house. You escape into these shows and use 3-dimensional props to kind of become a part of these calming shows. The 10 Commandments. Yeah. Did you have a crush on Michael Landon? I was going to ask, because wasn't he sort of a teen idol in a way for a while?
Yeah.
No.
Well,
Little House on the Prairie.
no, I mean, did I?
I like the blind girl.
I thought he was. David's like, what I could have done with that shit.
She
about the
couldn't see that
Waltons?
I'm not that cute. I would just tell her I was.
Not with that
You're like-
lighting.
Not with this lighting.
Not
I
with
know,
that
my lighting
You
is so
can't
bad.
see him, listeners, but David's got gothic kind of lighting on him.
My
It's
hair
pretty
looks cool, and no one believes me, and I don't care. I'm going to the
We
wall
have great
with this.
hats. I got to get
You
a cool
have a hat on.
Well,
He's got
because
a hat
I
on.
was throwing you guys off because there was so much shade on my face and lighting. It looked crazy.
So, Sherry, this is so interesting. I'm just so, when I think about you as a performer, just the word that comes in is committed.
Not as a woman.
Well, as a woman, that's a whole other. That'll be our second hour. We'll delve into your sexuality and everything. No, you're very attractive.
I have a few questions
You're
myself.
terrific. Sue me, and we adore you. But Were you as committed? I mean, you're so committed. You're watching these shows, little kid. You got props, and you're talking like biblical characters to your mom. What the fuck are you doing? I so love you, mother. How did this inform you as a performer? I mean, obviously, you developed an ear and you were theatrical, but you'd never done anything official till you go into Groundlings. And then, how many years into that were you in the main company and ready for SNL? How long did it take you?
I did 2 years of classes and then 2 years in the Sunday company, writing and performing every Sunday. And then I got into the main company. I was in the main company for 1.5 years. And I would say that SNL was my first job.
Wow.
And you were prepped enough, right? Because you were doing pretty much exactly SNL, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I just kept the same kind of writing and just, just kept, I learned the difference between theater and television. I remember writing something in the Groundlings that did really well, but it died. And I remember Colin Quinn saying, Cher, I don't know if this is going to come off the way it did in theater, because when you talk out in theater on a stage, the audience can imagine the fourth wall. If you do it on television, you just look crazy if you're talking out. You know what I'm saying? And gotcha. I did not know the difference between that. And I remember it was Kevin Spacey, and I had done this character where she has a party every year, the same party, and only 2 people show up, but she acts like there's a lot of people there. She says all the things that you say when it's a really packed party. You know what I mean?
Right.
Did you find parking? Excuse me, I just got a request. The keg is beat. We're a young party. The keg is beat. I'm going to pass a hat around, and all these things. And stupid. I did it with Kevin Spacey, and it just died because of what he said. Because a lot of it was me talking out to people that weren't there, and it's kind of confusing. But and then I remember Lauren always saying, "Sherry, do you know where your camera is?" And I thought it was a trick question. I go, "Yeah, no, you don't." And he goes, "The people at home would like to see. The people at home would like to see you too." And I didn't even know what he meant.
Kansas is. Oh.
Now you play basketball.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I'll ask this first. Could you touch the rim?
I could.
Could you dunk a baseball?
I could dunk a baseball, yes. I probably dunked a basketball 10 times in my life.
Shut up.
Never during a game with a referee. I was just talking about this yesterday.
Any witnesses?
There's basketball going on right now. A lot of basketball. So I'm just...
Yeah, so dunking's on everyone's mind.
6'2" or 6'1"?
6'1".
6'1". What's your wingspan, though?
Oh, probably 6'1". Probably nothing spectacular.
So you had a pretty good vertical to get a basketball.
It was also adrenaline. I also had a lot of friends that could jump, and so it's a little bit of peer pressure that way, too, where it's just, come on, just shut up and do it. But I do remember if I dunked 10 times, 6 of those times were one day after playing basketball, like in between junior, senior year, no, sophomore, junior year, like during summer.
That's unreal, dude.
My dad put up a 9-foot hoop, and it fucked all the kids because we were awesome on the 9-foot hoop. And then we go to high school. What the hell is it
what are
doing?
They doing? Airball after airball.
Yeah, exactly.
I can get the net. I can dunk on the net.
9 foot is awesome.
It's less of a big deal now. I feel like shooting threes off the dribble is what it's all about now because of Steph Curry and whatnot. But back when I was playing, dunking was the biggest deal in the world. I mean, was the test market for those strength shoes. That they that Kramer
really?
wore.
That would kind of create.
Yeah, I mean, I had a pair for the legit reason. I would jump rope in them all the time. A lot of time spent on that. But yeah,
when they do it now, they go past half court. It's like 1 step, 2 step, shoot it, and you go. Jesus, how do you guard? You don't even know what's happening.
He changed everything.
It's just 1, 2, boom, and you go, and then they make it 90% of the time.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark on the women's college circuit too. I mean, it's all over the place, all over the world. Yeah, just shooting.
You play Sandler?
Adam and I have played. I think we may have played once or twice, but not enough to have a scouting report. Mm-hmm. I hear he's good. I know he
gets into it.
He's competitive too.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
It's all fun and games till the game starts.
Exactly.
And Like, get open. I go, what? You don't talk to me like that.
Jesus, Happy Gilmore. I'm not funny.
He goes, check the call sheet. I go, all right. You can
you
yell
are
at me a
not
little bit.
triggering financing out here, buddy. We are all the same. No, but no, he's played in a game with my buddy Sam Jones that I've played in a few times, and my buddy Brad Morris. But yeah, I haven't played maybe once or twice. I mean, probably the most fun I'd had playing in the was hearing the stories of Gary Shandling's game, then getting invited to go play in that with Sarah Silverman.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and before he passed, and then a huge thing was when Gary was like, "Hey, you can come without Sarah if you want."
That's a big deal.
A lovely sort of, because I'd read about that game forever. Like,
Gary Shandling's house.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would be Sarah, you. I mean, who were the regulars?
Oh my gosh! I mean, McKay was there.
Jimmy Miller.
Jimmy was there a couple times.
When I used to go in the early days, but there was a run there when I went and I was no good, and I sort of got pushed in the background.
Yeah.
Just not the emails
You
anymore.
could be a Muggsy Bogues out there.
I was like distraction, whatever they call it.
Yeah, I just want you on the out there, like on the side, just like
We need a new
every now and
guy.
then.
We
Keep
need
people
5
honest.
to keep it even. You go out there and run around in circles.
Or a Spud Webb. I would have been a Spud Webb.
Yeah.
But no, I got out of that quickly. I was D basketball in high school, and our center was literally 5'3". He controlled the paint.
Yeah.
That was when they had D basketball. 5 foot tall, 91 pounds as a freshman. What about you? Were you always a bearded stud in high school? Were you a late bloomer?
It was a beard of acne, like any of us, right? Like, no, I don't think I could grow a beard until about an hour before I got here.
How did your anger express itself then to you?
I mean, here's the weird thing. It's when I was, my childhood, I was bullied ridiculously. Half of it, the bullying, is because I was just a little guy. And then I got bused to school. So I was a little guy and I was black, right? It's hard. So it's like, I'm getting double bullied. If I was white, I would have probably got bullied too, but it was just
Double.
like,
But you're also supposed to be tough, probably.
Yeah, it was pretty rough, right? And it was pretty like every day. So it's weird. I had a weird temper. It's gonna be a weird thing. I was the oldest of 7, and I was weirdly smaller than my younger brothers. So it was a weird thing where your brothers like, hey, so and so down the block bothered me, and I'm like, I gotta fucking go protect Andre or Tony,
Yeah.
Wow.
and I'm fucking smaller than them. So anyway, one day a guy really disrespected me really bad, like mushed me at a party, and like mushed me and pushed like kind of like kicked sand on my face in front of girls and shit. And I went home. I put a brick in a book bag. This is like a legendary story in my
Like
neighborhood.
Bad
right?
Boys, yeah.
And I fucking swung that shit and smacked this guy in the face with this brick, and then stomped him Joe Pesci style.
Wow.
Now, to the point, we thought he might die for like, even like 3 days later, every time a cop or whatever would come through the block, we'd be like, we're literally talking about ways of getting me to down south, like that would have helped.
Huh.
Long story short, from that day on, as my shrink puts it to me, you have been scared to be angry ever since.
Mm.
So the guy you saw was bending over backwards to be nice because I was so scared of my anger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see.
I was
Hulk-like.
frightened of what, my shrink, the good shrink, I got, like the top guy.
There's good ones and bad ones. Yeah, definitely.
There's good ones and bad ones, and he broke it down. It's like, we got to get you over that incident.
Right.
Because you're a nice guy, and this guy brought out something in you, and you're so scared of that thing coming out of you again
Yeah.
that you let the whole world walk all over you.
Mm-hmm.
Your friends walk over you, your family walks over you, your female relationships, like everybody just fucks you over. Because it's somewhere in there, they know there's a force field holding you back.
Interesting.
So in the weird way, so I'm like the opposite of you, in the sense that in the last year, now I can get angry.
Right.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared of letting people know how I feel about certain things.
My therapy was about that too, though, because I was always the nice guy holding stuff in and not really. My aggression, my competitiveness overrode the nice guy. Because people who ask me, who meet me now, well, did you just allow other cast members, like, oh no, Lauren, do their sketch, that kind of thing? There was a natural competition in me. But in my personal relationships, I hated confrontation because when confrontation happened at my house, bodies flew. My dad was just really violent. So even all my siblings are like that. We don't like confrontation.
Yeah, no, that's
and that goes too
my
far.
house too. It wasn't violent per se, but it was loud as fuck.
Yeah.
So,
but those things stick with you, just loud.
Yeah, it just sticks with you. So now, I can kind of, I can tell you, hey, I didn't like what you said to me, or I didn't like what you, without losing my head, without hitting anybody.
Well, that's a home run for therapy.
This has been a podcast presentation of Cadence 13. Please listen, then rate, review, and follow all episodes. Available now for free wherever you get your podcasts.
No joke, folks. Fly on the Wall has been a presentation of Cadence 13. Executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Chris Corcoran of Cadence 13, and Charlie Finan of Brillstein Entertainment.
The show's lead producer is Greg Holtzman with production and engineering support from Serena Regan and Chris Basil of Cadence 13.